Hello, everybody, and welcome to the January 2nd, 2019 edition of the Ephrom Josine Show. I am your host, Ephrom Josine. YouTube user slash political talk show host slash person who is right about almost everything, Kyle Kalinske, recently tweeted, "An underrated shitty part of the next 6 years is that we're going to have to hear what Senator Romney thinks about things." Oh yeah, I've talked about this. Mitt Romney is a senator now, aka the failed 2012 presidential candidate after his 2008 presidential candidacy failed. And for that matter, didn't he also try running for Senate in the 90s and fail against Ted Kennedy? But he's from Utah now, so I guess it's okay. Yeah, he couldn't stay in Massachusetts because Warren is actually extremely popular. He was also Bill Kristol's preferred 2016 candidate. Fun fact. However, it should be noted that recently it seems like he's decided to sort of stop playing footsies with the Never Trump Republicans, which, on a side note, there are more Americans who believe in lizard people conspiracies than there are Republicans who don't like Donald Trump. Fun fact. And write an op-ed for Washington Post entitled, "The President Shapes the Public Character of the Nation. Trump's character falls short." Of course, this does not include a single policy issue Mitt Romney has with Donald Trump, because he campaigned on the exact same things as Donald Trump in 2012. In fact, he says, quote, "He was right to align U.S. corporate taxes with those of global competitors." He didn't even do that, for the record. "To strip our excessive regulations, to crack down on China's unfair trade practices, to reform criminal justice." He did a bad job with that. "And to appoint conservative judges." However, the rest comes down to, well, Donald Trump is still a big, mean bully jerk, which, to be fair, he's not wrong about. However, you know that's not going to affect a single one of his votes as senator. Is Mitt Romney going to stand up there on the Senate floor and say, "Mr. President, I would support you on this bill. However, you're a big, mean bully jerk, so therefore I am not"? Of course not. That would be very, very stupid. Meanwhile, the New York Times recently decided to put out an article called "Women Who Worked for Bernie Sanders' Campaign Say Complaints of Sexism and Mistreatment Were Not Addressed." Well, were they valid? Did you notice that it didn't actually say there was sexism or mistreatment that wasn't addressed? They just said complaints about it were not addressed. Now, why would you word something like that? Maybe because it didn't actually happen, and therefore by not addressing it, they mean because there was nothing to address? For the record, Sanders knows this didn't happen and admitted that in his apology statement, while still apologizing because he's Bernie Sanders, and that's just how Bernie Sanders is. So what I'm saying is, I don't take this as anything more than a smear campaign on the New York Times' part. And mind you, CNN did something similar about 2 days ago now, and I actually talked about it in my end of the year column. But currently, they're trying to smear Bernie Sanders as a misogynist. I'm calling it now, possibly even a sexual assaulter or rapist by the end of this year, because they're scared he's going to run in 2020. Meanwhile, our president repeatedly gropes people, but guess this is more important. Am I the only one who sees a problem here? Anyway, since yesterday we covered a Dennis Prager article talking about how this year is going to be the year that, with control of the House of Representatives, the left controls everything, I figured, why not make fun of Ben Shapiro today? I know, I do it a lot, but I haven't done it all year yet, so screw it. This is from Daily Wire, which took a break from eating up the liberal media's propaganda about sexual assault with no evidence when it comes to Bernie Sanders. It doesn't make any sense to me either. And instead just featured Shapiro's latest column. You ready for this? I love this title so much. 2019, Year of the Woke Scold. 2018 was a chaotic year. It was a chaotic year for the markets. Thank your president for that. For domestic and international politics, again, thank your president for that. And for social mores, not really. 2019 promises more of the same. If the end of the prior year was any indicator, and its promises something else, the continued rise of woke scold. I swear to God, if this entire column's about Louis C.K., I'm going to be very annoyed. Woke scold are the new representatives of moral panic. We've seen plenty of moral panic before in the United States. Didn't you write a whole book about how bad pornography was? In fact, didn't your pal Matt Walsh write a column saying it should be illegal? From worries about violent video games that your buddies at Town Hall still sometimes promote. Yeah, I think wasn't it Brando, who I believe is an associate of Town Hall, made a column where it was like, violent video games was one of the guys on the left, and they were all angrily pointing at Rush Limbaugh or someone. And it was also, just a generic Democrat logo holding an effigy of Bush and like a rapper and things like that. It was really stupid, and I forget the point it was trying to make. To concern about allegations of sex abuse at daycare facilities, unless they're the Catholic Church, in which case we just sort of cover that up. Oh, unless the liberal media is also covering it up, in which case it's surprising they're covering it up. But never have we seen a moral panic of stunning breadth of today's woke moral panic. You use the term moral panic twice in the same sentence. It's a moral panic, really? Tell me more. That insists we change fundamental characteristics of our society. We live in a society, dang it. From biology to language, yes, the left demands we all speak French. To politics, to religion, we weren't a religious society to begin with. To romantic relations, do you mean those demands have stopped a long time ago, dude. To art, to comedy, again, I swear to God, if half this is weird cultural boo. We're told that if we fail to rewrite biology to suggest there are more than two sexes, no one actually says that, or if we don't use preferred pronouns rather than biological ones. Didn't Contra already debunk that point like a long time ago? Basically, you also referred to a trans woman by non-biological pronouns. I hate the fact I have to say that. But on Joe Rogan, by the way, and then quickly corrected yourself, because this is actually very hard to consistently do. We will inevitably create emotional and mental instability among certain vulnerable groups. Wow. You mean the people who have their brains screwed up so they really the people who have their brains screwed up so they were born with a mind of the opposite sex don't exactly like being reminded the one they currently are? Who would have thought? We're told that if we fail to silence members of groups who haven't suffered sufficiently in the United States, we will be contributing to the persecution of power hierarchies that target minorities. You're making this very vague, by the way, in order to scare people so you don't have to give actual examples. We're told that if we don't force religious people to violate their own stands in order to cater to those engaging in what they consider to be sinful activity, you could just not open a place where you have to serve those. Just an idea. We will be bolstering religious oppression. We will be bolstering religious oppression. That's more bigotry than oppression, but okay. We're told that the only proper type of sexual relationship is the one entailed via contractual levels of affirmative consent. No one's actually said that. Rather than mere affirmative body language or adequate. We're told that baby, it's cold outside, and the Philadelphia story are deeply troubling hallmarks of the sexist past. Modern rap, repeat with brutal degradation of women, is just fine, in case you're wondering. Actually, feminists have also been angry at that before. In fact, Hillary Clinton even insulted Eminem over it in the 90s. But enough with actual facts. And we're told that if we consider politically incorrect jokes funny, we're strengthening regressive stereotypes. Well, that one's kinda true. But, okay. If we fail to abide by these new structures, we will be attacked by woke scolds. These woke inquisitioners have apparently mastered their ever-shifting dynamic of leftist power politics and are willing to score everyone's online history and interpersonal relationship for signs of heresy. One such heresy is uncovered. The woke scolds truly go to work. They demand apologies from the supposed sinners. Aren't you, like, honest to God, a Jew who actually believes sin is an honest to God thing that exists? Like, I'm an atheist, so if I say sinners, it sounds ridiculous no matter what I'm saying it about. You actually believe that exists, so that's just very weird. And boycotts of those who refuse to disassociate from them. Yes, we are forcing boycotts, unlike your beloved freedom-loving conservatives who try and ban boycotts of Israel. I'm not even sure how you do that. They discourage decent people from speaking up. First they came for Ben Shapiro. Better to stay silent so as to avoid the wrath of the woke scolds. Actually, you're way more popular than most of these people. Although Contra does currently have more Patreon supporters than Jordan Peterson. So, tick-tock, my dude. Tick-tock. The woke scolds deliberately pick marginal cases. Cases on which good people may be split. What? This allows woke scolds to consistently narrow the boundaries of safety for those who disagree with them. You're on to us. Yes, at the leftist HQ. Do these people think there's a left-wing Illuminati where our leader is Hillary Clinton? Seriously, after Dennis's column yesterday, I genuinely don't know with these people. The latest victim of the woke scold, Louis C.K. I'm just not bothering. People were angry he was unfunny. Oh my god. Is he doing the Jerry Seinfeld thing now where it's, listen, I tell jokes and people don't laugh. Therefore, political correctness has gone insane. This must not be allowed, particularly when his jokes are about such taboo topics as gender pronouns and alleged expertise confronted by experiencing tragedy. Okay, we get it. You love Louis C.K. Also, love the bit where you briefly, passive-aggressively attack him for insulting Sarah Palin. That's not Sarah Palin. Anyone but Sarah Palin. First they came for Sarah Palin. Now, the difference between being funny and being funny with F in caps for some reason is that when you're funny, everyone knows it. When you're funny, as defined by critics, you don't have to be funny. You just have to be, are you done now? Are you, like, seriously? If this all sounds dull, obnoxious, and frustrating, then you know you're reading a Ben Shapiro column. That's because it is. And while the woke scolds may win temporary victories, those victories will surely be Pyrrhic. Then why are you writing this column? We can read this column too, Ben. As it turns out, we tend to like our biology, language, politics, religion, romantic relationships, art, and comedy. The woke scolds will certainly lose, but not before they destroy a lot of people and fray social fabric nearly beyond repair. So we need to step on our game. We need to make it completely beyond repair. I'm Ephrom, and I just don't care anymore.